Natural catastrophes such as floods, they come as they like, starting October, November. What water causes as destruction is beyond explanation.
When disaster strikes, the immediate needs are obvious: food, water, shelter, and medical supplies. But none of these necessities will reach survivors without the largely invisible communication networks that must be set up quickly to enable relief workers to save lives. There is no overemphasizing the role of robust emergency communications programs that bring resources and mobile technology infrastructure to support the critical role of communications in disaster response. Cities are home to a majority of people on the planet. The current level of urbanization ranges from 82% of the population in North America to 40% in Africa. But all regions are expected to follow this trend towards greater urbanization over the next 3 decades. Protecting property and security are major national obsessions, and it is difficult to imagine what many would discuss at their dinner parties if the problem disappeared. A substantial percentage of middle-aged homes subscribed to the services of armed private security firms. The other obvious manifestation of this obsession is the huge number of alarms, high walls, and electronically controlled gates you will find not just in suburbs, but even in less deprived areas of some townships. Urban safety is therefore a critical issue that is set to become even more important over time.
Ensuring the promotion of education, safety of persons and goods at our level are our priorities. Ensuring that all is done to help better their lives.
As the world's urban population escalates and technology evolves at a staggering velocity, the manner in which cities protect their critical assets and networks fall further under the spotlight. Currently, 50% of the world's inhabitants live within a city, a figure set to rise by a further 20% within the next 35 years. Cities are working to protect their citizens, but the question is, what makes cities safe? Civil authorities are waking up to the fact that these dramatic increases in urban population will demand vast upgrades across a variety of factors, including connectivity, access to energy, clean air and water, and transportation. High on this list is the need to be able to respond effectively to emergencies or intrusions across such widespread areas, thereby ensuring the safety and security of the average citizen.
You know, Yaoundé is a city of about 2 million or more inhabitants. It is also the seat of international institutions and diplomatic representations. But above that, it is also the city of Cameroonians of good standing who should be able to go about their activities peacefully. So the forces of law and order should be able to provide that. And for these, they need to be able to lean on structures that can help them serve with honor. There are high stakes to consider, such as reinforcing safety. Now, we are talking about terrorism, and it is not only in Cameroon, it is all over the world. New information technologies today change our ways of communication and sharing. It is an indispensable medium for the economy. The International Telecommunications Organization clearly says that they can considerably contribute to economic growth by 2 to 3%. It is my opinion that authorities must take this seriously and learn to use them in making changes. And this can be done by taking into consideration how new information technologies can contribute in bringing modernization. Otherwise, we will not be able to achieve objectives set for the 20 years. That said, I think we have to be able to take advantage of existing infrastructures and recognize the effort that government has already been making. The issue is not only to have information, it is essential how you treat and use it.
Les aspects à considérer de manière la plus sérieuse possible.
Reliable communications are essential for public safety first responders who must keep connected with each other and the control center, as well as acquire situational awareness when responding to emergencies. The emergence of innovative, media-rich applications such as live video feed and camera surveillance, and the growing need for resiliency, interoperability, and enhanced collaboration among agencies are important reasons for transformation.
Basic principle, a sense of security and stability are very important background for economical growth. Now, when you are facing security issues, there is one level which is reacting, which means something happened and now you need to collect quickly the information and react on that in order to get the responsibles and to prevent the next one. But when we're talking about predicting, it means that beside of the sensors, you collect the information, you analyze the information, and based on that information that is already collected, you can get some additional knowledge and intelligence to actually predict what can happen next in order to avoid that. I can give you even, in some places there are riots, and you need to utilize the police force and the other first responders and also the military forces in a very efficient way. When you gather any information about these cells of riots and you understand who are, in what times it happens, where usually it happens, so then you can predict what would be, the next moves in some other days, and then you can direct the forces ahead of time, so they will be there, and they can also prevent that before it happens. So sometimes when you have the right forces in the place, you can even prevent the problems from happening.
If I take the example of city of Yaoundé, and I would say that to give the possibility to the citizen to feel better in terms of security, we have solutions that allow the possibility to bring much more intelligence inside of the camera. In Yaoundé today we have a system of video camera across the region, across the city, and the only thing that these cameras are doing today is only visioning and recording. So now it's up to us, and because we have the expertise on this kind of application, to put inside of the camera the different intelligence that will give you much more video analytics of the situation, and prevent a different kind of possibilities, and give also to the possibilities to the security forces to anticipate, to reduce the time of investigation, for example, and also to give a better feeling in terms of security to when you need, for example, to organize different events. We know that next year, in 3 years' time, we're going to have female African Cup of Nations in 2016, and in 2019 it's going to be for the male. I think that for all the Cameroonians and also for all the Africans that will be here for this event, it's going to be important for the city to make sure that all these people will be in a safe mode in the country. So that's why because we've been doing those kind of solutions in other countries, in Europe, in South Africa, also in the US. We have these capabilities, also, of course, to replicate the same.
As cities in the developing world continue to grow, so do their traffic safety concerns. Latin America, for instance, now sees 3 times as many deaths from traffic crashes as Europe, the vast majority of which occurs in cities. Improving developing cities' traffic safety is a critical task for ensuring that these growing urban centers become safe, equitable places to live. A key part of achieving this safety, sustainable urban design. And on this path, countries like South Africa are already taking the lead and constantly looking for solutions. The acquisition of innovative technology has an important role in this development.
In South Africa, we have different industries like the rail industry, the port, which is the seaport, the airport itself, mining. They need different solutions. So within our organization,
What kind of solutions?
Communication solutions. So they need to critical communications. Like for instance, so as our organization, we look after the commercial, we have the commercial network part of technology, but we also have enterprise, where big organizations such as the airport company of South Africa or the mining companies, they need to provide critical communication within their organizations for situation awareness. Or let's take, for instance, the municipality itself, to run the city efficiently for day-to-day operation. Let's say, for instance, there is an accident in the city, and then in that accident, the policeman will be dispatched to the accident zone. When the policeman arrives there, the policeman will need to take a video and a voice of the incident, upload that video to a command center within the city, so that the command center can then see what exactly is happening, where the policeman is, and then if the policeman needs help, then the command center can dispatch more police people to go out and help the policeman who's on site. Again, with the ambulances, we know the organizations that are usually involved with an accident. You need the ambulance, the police, the paramedics, and firefighters. Sometimes an accident, if it's too big, there may be fire. So then all that is required.
Responding to the need to help governing bodies reach the goal of transforming their cities to safe city status, decision makers are actively looking to learn and connect with global counterparts, sharing methods of integrating the collection, analysis, and dissemination of critical threat data.
A network that will be able to provide in one network with a radio equipment itself to provide voice, video for situation awareness, and also data for GIS location. And so in case of an accident, the policeman will receive instructions from the command center through his handset. GIS location. So like for instance, directions. The policeman will need to, on his phone, on the screen of the handset, he will need to see exactly where he needs to go in order to attend to this accident. That's the data part of it. When he gets to the incident or accident zone, he will then take a video using the same handset, and then he can be able to communicate with the command center through voice. So all that is combined in one handset using one network. So that's why we're looking at a broadband network. Well, that's a very interesting point that you've raised. I actually visited one of the stands that impressed me, and the company is it's appearing on our on our name tag, on this badge that I'm wearing. So, like you've said, most of the organizations have systems in place. but those systems are limited in terms of capacity. Now, to upgrade or to actually bring in the new systems, most organizations do not need to do away with the existing infrastructures. Instead, they want to overlay, to combine the two networks. So one of the stands that I visited, the technology allows the companies to keep the infrastructures in place and then also bring in the new infrastructure. So if you've maybe taken a walk around, you may have seen they have Tetra plus LTE. So what they're doing is they allow organizations that do not have enough funds to bring in this new network, but in the next few years, then that organization can upgrade the network to the latest technology. So they allow them to get infrastructure at a lower cost with an option to upgrade in the near future to the latest technology.
Many municipalities are turning to mobile computing and other networked applications to improve the efficiency of their workforce, including public safety personnel and first responders. Consequently, public safety workers are increasingly being equipped with wireless laptops, handheld computers, and mobile video cameras to improve their efficiency, visibility, and ability to instantly collaborate with central command, co-workers, and other agencies.
Technology leads to change and modernity. So it's important, it's a pretty new process, and like every new process, you have to take into account the resistance to change. So it's a step-by-step movement, and what is important for a country, for a city, or for a company who is committed to move to the next level is to build a realistic plan in terms of modernization, communication modernization, and this is where a company, for example, is able to assist to make things happen with success. So it's a duty for us, to consider capacity building and training, especially when we are talking about projects, at the city level, at the region level, or at the national level. It's important for us to let them build their own capacity.
Video surveillance cameras and unattended sensors are becoming important tools to extend the eyes and ears of public safety agencies. Another step into ensuring an efficient first response to critical moments is how safe the oil and gas sector is. Although impressive strides have been made to improve worker safety in the mining industry, miners still face one of the world's most perilous working environments on a daily basis. Mining companies have often been reticent to invest in non-core technology upgrades in the past, but new devices and software can make the difference between life and death. Experts say that the potential of the oil and gas industry in Cameroon is huge, with significant quantities of discovered natural resources. Cameroon's underdeveloped mineral resources include bauxite, cobalt, gold, diamond, just to name these. A little over a year ago, experts estimated that something like 60% of Cameroon is still unexplored, though several world-class mines have already been identified and some are already being scrutinized for exploitation, such as the rutile form ore in Akonolinga, bauxite in Minimatap, and iron in Balam. Minimatap's bauxite potential is projected at 54 million tons. So as Cameroon is driving towards emergence, these emerging giant projects also mean giant risk.
Vous avez les TIC aujourd'hui, je dirais, changent notre façon de vivre, notre façon de communiquer et notre façon d'échanger. Il s'agit d'un média incontournable pour le développement économique. C'est vraiment ce que je pense. D'ailleurs, l'Union internationale des télécoms le dit de manière assez claire, c'est que les TIC peuvent participer de l'augmentation du taux de croissance d'un pays de 2 à 3%. c'est un élément qui est, à mon avis, très considérable à prendre en compte par les autorités, de manière à réellement savoir se servir des nouvelles technologies dans les changements. Je souhaiterais également dire qu'avec tous ces projets de développement qui existent au Cameroun aujourd'hui, si on ne tient pas compte justement de la modernisation que peuvent apporter les systèmes d'information d'un point de vue compétitivité, mais également d'un point de vue technicité, on ne pourra pas justement atteindre cet objectif dans une vingtaine d'années. Mais ceci étant, je pense aussi qu'il s'agit surtout de pouvoir tirer avantage des infrastructures existantes déjà, ou celles qui sont en cours d'achèvement, que le gouvernement du Cameroun a s'efforce de faire depuis des dizaines d'années. Le plus important, à mon avis, ce n'est pas de détenir cette information, c'est surtout ce qui importe, la manière dont vous traitez cette information et vous l'utilisez.
Smart public safety policing with analyzing the information and predicting where should be the next hot spots, and then you mobilize forces there in order to prevent and be ready. So I think that this is what we mean when we're talking about predictive. It's a level higher than just preventing. And also, on these kind of solutions, we're also being assisted by the citizens that can be connected and can be source of an information. This information will be analyzed, and it also adds to the sense of the security of the people that are connected, and they know that they have a direct access to the security forces, so they can report on that. So this does two things: very good source of information and very good source or sense of security to the citizens that are part of that.
Communications technologies play a critical role in providing the means for propagating and disseminating disaster-related information. Effective and robust communications in any emergency or in the promotion of preparedness and awareness can provide communities with the necessary advanced knowledge or warning to take mitigating action and prevent disaster. All disaster emergencies and crisis events are by nature chaotic and highly dynamic, creating physical, emotional, and social disorder. In such crisis events and emergencies, communication is critical at all phases of the disaster management. Heavy rains triggered devastating floods, creating what